I started this live streaming on Facebook. I called it my updated story of my life. So the first edition that I did was "Do Not Limit Yourself," where I talked about, you know, the three levels: the spiritual, the the mental, the soul, and the physical. If one road, they say if one road close, it's a sign that another door has already opened or is about to open. I gave examples, about my life, from Kingdom News, how I moved to the banking industry. From banking industry, I became a barber stroke hairstylist, and I'm still a barber stroke hairstylist. But today, I'm gradually moving into entertainment. You can manifest on any of this. Is your ability to blend these three together. That's what actually make you an excellent, a perfect human being. Do not limit yourself. I got to a stage when Kingdom News was not really working, so I moved into the banking industry. When banking industry was not working again, I moved into hairstyling and barbing. And when I noticed that the road was not as before, now I'm gradually moving to entertainment. That shows that you can do anything. The Bible says you can do all things. You can do all things. Because we have the Holy Spirit on the inside of us, and we are children of God. And we operate on three levels: the spiritual level, the soul level, and the physical level. You can build yourself. You can develop yourself. You can maximize every potential that God has put on the inside of you. Today, I'm going to be sharing my journey to Lagos. How life has been to me in Lagos, because sometimes I sit down and ask myself, why Lagos? Why did I come to Lagos? Why didn't I go to any other state? That's part of the things I'm going to be sharing today, so that you get to know how I started when I first came to Lagos, and how it is now. It's always good to share one's experiences so that people can benefit from it. And that's the reason why I'm actually doing this. As you're listening to me, you're going to hear one word, just one word, that will minister to you, that will inspire you, that will make you to have a turnaround, something that would provide solution to that problem that you've been encountering, or provide an answer to that question that you've been asking. Now, how did I come to Lagos? I know I came to Lagos immediately after my youth service, and I had an uncle then who was living in Mushi and doing business in Idumota. He's my uncle from my mother's side, so he was the one that I stayed with, when I first came to Lagos. I noticed that while staying there, the place was not really that comfortable for me. Not really necessarily because of my uncle. It was. I'm not sure that the wife was happy. The wife then was happy to have me in the house. And one of the ways that I knew was that in the morning, she will give me a bar. In the afternoon, she will make a bar for me. In the evening, she will make a bar. So I will eat a bar throughout the day. Do you understand? And I started getting that sign that, no, you are not really welcome in this place. So that's when I started thinking of, where else to go to, but I was not discouraged, but I was looking for where else to go to. Then I could remember my brother, before he traveled to Germany. Then he was staying with my other maternal uncle in Festac. So I called him, I told him what I was experiencing. So he now said I should come to Festac, that he would talk to my uncle so that I could stay there for a while. So from there I moved, to Festac, from Mushi to Festac. And it wasn't only my brother that was staying with my uncle. There were so many people there, and it was the kind of place that, if you come, the where you see is where you will sleep, because people will sleep on the couch, so the guest room, the bed there, you have people sleeping there, and some people sleep on the rug, but if you are lucky, some days you sleep on the bed. If you're lucky, other times sleep on the couch. You don't have a particular place where you sleep. I was not really brought up like that, because my dad, we have our house. I have a room, my own personal room, in the village, and my dad was doing very well in the village, but coming to Lagos, it was tough. It was not, if it was possible for me to bring a house from my village, because my father had many houses, in the village. If it was possible to bring a house from the village to Lagos, I would have done that, but it wasn't possible. So that place wasn't really that also convenient for me. But when my brother was about to travel, he knew that I was not going to be comfortable there. So he now introduced me to his friend, and told the friend that if I need anything, that he should try and give it to me, that he will sort him out. So once in a while, I'll just go to that his friend's place. Then it became so tough, I had to leave Lagos. I left Lagos and I went back to my village. When I got to my village, it was another experience totally, because my dad didn't want me to stay in the village. You can imagine your son, who you sent to university, went to do youth service. Now he wants to come and be staying in the village. He was not really, my dad was not, it's not that he came out direct to tell me, but I knew he was not comfortable with it. So, and my mom too, and she didn't know how to tell me, but I noticed that once in a while she just be looking at me. The way she'll be looking at me, I know that no, my mom was not happy, and there was nothing she could do about it. After staying in the for a while, I packed my things again. I went to Benin, stayed with my other maternal uncle in Benin. It wasn't also comfortable. From there, I moved, from Benin, and I came back to Lagos. And this time around, my friend, who was staying around Oregon at that time, asked me to come and stay with him for a while. So I went there and I stayed with him. You see why relationship is good. I stayed with him for a while. Then from there, because I was very active in church, once in a while I would talk, I would share. I had these people, they were brothers, 3 of them, they noticed me, and one of them particularly took interest in me. So I mentioned to him that I was having issue with accommodation. He said, no, you can come to my place. So that's why I left Oregon and I went to go and be staying with him, And this was somebody that, we were not related. I only met them in church, but they were nice. they welcomed me into their home. They were staying in one room apartment. That is a room, a kitchen, and then toilet, and the bathroom, like a self-contained. So I stayed with them for a while. We were going to church together, and all that. Then from there, I had an idea. I wanted to do. Then there was nothing like all these gospel shows, that you see nowadays. Because at that time, parachurch ministry was not really, it wasn't really a welcome thing, But I had this idea that I wanted to, do like a gospel, because I was in the choir in the church I was in then. So, and I was very close to the head of the choir. So I was sharing my ideas with him how, we can organize a show, bring people to come and attend, buy tickets, and he bought into it. So, and I had some money then because I was also doing some small hustling, to get some money. So we said we should go to Eko Hotel then. Airport Hotel, Ikeja. Yes, we went to Airport Hotel to go and find out how much it would cost for us to, pay for the venue. So then they told us the amount. Then the next thing was for us to print ticket. I was very serious. I really wanted to do it. I even went as far as buying a keyboard that we're going to use, not knowing that this guy was his mind was it was in something else. So the guy was just spending the money, and before I realized it, this guy, was not interested in the show. He was just interested in the money that was bringing. And that was a shocker for me. What he used to, bamboozled me was because he gave me his boys' quarter, that I was staying around Alagbado, Iju Gate side, So it was from there. Then I met one of my cousins who was living around that area. So I told him what I was experiencing. So he now said I should come and stay with him. So he too was staying in one room, with his girlfriend then, which he later got married to. So I stayed there for a while. Then from there, I raised money, and I was able to get my first room. That was the first room that I paid for with my money. And when I entered that room, I was very happy. Though it was a face me, I face you. Pit toilet in Lagos. Around Iju Gate side. I was very happy because now I have my own place. So I could go out and come back anytime that I like. And it was there I started organizing myself. I could remember, started my Kingdom News magazine. I would go out looking for people to subscribe. From the little money I was making, I was able to buy a refrigerator, I was able to buy a TV, buy, a video cassette player, and I started organizing myself. Then from there, I raised money, and I rented my first 3-bedroom apartment in the same area too. Then from there, after I stayed for about a year, my brother who was in Germany then said he wanted my other younger ones to come and stay with me, and he wanted to support me. So he now also sent money for me to get another bigger another bigger space, and he gave me a car. You know, and that was how it started for me. Then from there, I got a job in a bank, Prudent Bank then. You know, I think I talked about that in my previous live stream. So I got a job in the bank, you know. Then, and that was how life started for me. So I moved from there. I got another 3-bedroom apartment. This time around, it was because I was now married. It was because of my children. I wanted because I was working and my wife was also working, so we wanted a place where we wanted a place that is close to my children's school and also to the hospital that we were using. So there was this big house around. They call that place Iju Shaga. Yes, very close to Ayodele Hospital. So it was a very fine building, service apartment. So we got a 3-bedroom there, and which made it very easier for just my children's school was close to the house and the hospital was just beside the house. Then it was from there, that I now moved to my own personal house. I'm taking you guys through the first place that I stayed, before I eventually moved to my own personal house. You see, by the time I was preparing for these live stream that I'm doing today, I was counting the number of places that I stayed before I moved to my personal house. I stayed in about 10 places before I moved to my own personal house. And those places that I stayed, I had different kind of experiences. Do you understand? See, it was not easy, but I thank God that I survived it. And today, I am where I am today. One of the reasons why I'm saying this, I've seen a couple of people, they are afraid, to take risk. They are afraid, to reach out, and they limit themselves. There are so many there are so many opportunities out there, but if you don't take risk, if you are not courageous, if you are not bold, you will find yourself in one place. There are some people who are my age mates, or people who are even older than me. They are still in the village because of fear of the unknown. They stayed behind. But I left my village, to come to Lagos, for greener pastures. And I was bold. And even when I came to Lagos, it wasn't that easy. I kept moving from one place to another. The lesson in this is that relationship, I stayed with my maternal uncles. I stayed with friends that I met in church, and before I was able to raise money, to have my own place. Some people will see me today, they will think that, it was all rosy from the start. Nowadays, you see a lot of young people, they just want success like fast food. They want it now. There is always a price, to pay. And the good thing is that the price that we pay, is nothing compared to the major price that Jesus Christ paid for us. Jesus Christ already paid the major price, and that's part of the thing that I discussed, in my last episode. I want you to go and watch it. I've edited it on YouTube. Go and watch it. You will learn one or two things from there. He has already paid the price, but we still have our own part to play. You have our own part to play. When you go out, you reach out, and you have a goal, and you keep pressing towards it, you will, and if you are a child of God, God will order your steps. The Bible says the steps of the righteous, they are ordered, of the Lord. Your steps are ordered. You might not know where you're going to end. If anybody had told me today, I will have my own personal house, and I'll have an apartment very close to Ikeja City Mall, just very close to the governor, a throw stone from the governor's office, I would say it's a lie, because I came to Lagos. I was staying in Face Me, I Face You. Pit toilet. But yet I was not discouraged. I kept pressing, I kept pushing. I was doing Kingdom News, selling chin chin, and some people were, making fun of me, because I was a graduate. I read economics, but I was doing all that. But I was not carried away by what people were saying. Do you understand? I was not carried by what people were saying. I was encouraging myself, in the Word of God, and in the Christian books that I was reading, and I had this belief that one day God will give me a breakthrough, and He did. I want you out there, especially those people that are listening to me, if you are still finding life difficult, you understand, be bold, be courageous. One of the things that really helped me, was that relationship with people. Have good relationship with people. God can use anybody. God can use anybody to reach out to you. And these people, you can meet them in the office, you can meet them in church, you can meet them, in your everyday, where as you go out, as you talk to people, God can use anybody. But you have to have good character, and you have to have the right attitude. You have to be nice, you have to be kind to people. I know nowadays it's tough because, because of what people are doing now, the trust is not there. I'm not sure. Maybe if it was this time, it would have been very difficult to get the kind of help, that I got as at that time, because nowadays it's very difficult for people to just bring you into their home when they don't really need, when they don't know you, because of what is happening. I've had my own share of, trying to help people, and the same people that are trying to help, these are the people that will not even turn their back against you. There are people that will backbite you. There are people that will dupe you. There are people that will do you 419, compared to those days. But the truth is that if you are a child of God, God will always make a way. The Bible says there is no temptation that is too great, even when we are tempted, God will always make a way of escape. There's always a way of escape. Always look for that way of escape. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this live stream, this is one way of me, of documenting the story of my life. The chapter 1 was what I did, the first one, the one I said you should go and watch on YouTube. I titled that one, Do Not Limit Yourself. So this one, I'm titling it, Be Hopeful, Be Courageous, Be Bold. Don't stay in one place. Reach out. There are challenges everywhere. There are difficulties everywhere. I know. There's one thing, when I was in the bank, when they asked me to resign, 3 of my colleagues, they died. Because they were hopeless. They just felt that, what else will I do? I've been working in the bank for so many years. Where am I going to start from? There are some people too that I see, because in the course of my traveling to America and Canada, I see some people, because they sold everything that they had in Nigeria before they traveled. And over there, things is not really working out the way they expected. Now, it's like they are finding it difficult to come back home, to come and start their life again. I'm using this bit to tell you now, be bold, take risk, be courageous. If you are a child of God, you are genuinely seeking God, God will always lead you, to the right people. God will connect you, to people who will assist you. They will assist you in many forms. Some will give you accommodation. They will give you a job. When I was doing Kingdom News Magazine, it was through Kingdom News Magazine I met, someone, Mr. Benson Adeyemi, who introduced me to the DMD of Chartered Banks at that time, who later became, the managing director of Prudent Bank and Sky Bank. He was the one that introduced. That's how I started working in Prudent Bank, then later Sky Bank. It was true relationship. You get what I'm saying? I even mentioned that the first 3-bedroom house that I rented, that was somebody who supported me, a lady then, who added money to the little money that I had, to pay for the apartment. It was true relationship. My friend, who was living in Oregon, the one that was in Mushi, and even the guy that did me 419, I met them in church. True relationship. I believe one of the reasons why they invited me to stay with them, it was because I was nice, I was kind to them. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you are nice, if you are kind to people, God will always use them to assist you. He will use them, to help you. God uses people. Even today, God still uses people. In my last stream, I said money does not work on the street. People go with money. People work with money. Now, if you want to get to money, you have to get to people. And for you to get to people, you have to have good relationship with people. nowadays, people, they don't take relationships serious. They don't take relationships serious. But is it the same relationship that God can use to bless you? So I believe, no matter where you are, whether in Nigeria, whether in America, whether in Canada, if you know how to build good relationship with people, God can use them, to give you that thing that you're looking for. It could be accommodation, it could be a job, it could be, capital to start your business, it could be, he will open the door for you. Are you getting what I'm saying? So, and I also want to let you know that, life, for most people, is not that easy. It's not easy. But the truth is that we have what it takes. We have what it takes, to make life easy. Life may not be easy, but we have what it takes to make life easy. We have the Holy Spirit on the inside of us. We have the Word of God on the inside of us. Are you getting what I'm saying? These are the things that work out for me. These are the things that helped me. Imagine somebody that came to Lagos, live in Face Me, I Fix You, down in Iju Gate, but today I am where I am today. And one major thing that I can tell you, that made this possible for me was my relationship with God, one, and my relationship with people. I believe that if you have good relationship with God and you have good relationship with people, God will always make a way for you. I want you to ponder on this. And if you have any question, please put it on the comment section, and I will answer your question.